we will start tonight with some more storytelling. Llew had gone to the library, where he had taken back to the hotel 3 books. One was on... Did you write down what they were on? I didn't.
I got a book about the builder's travels in the forest, a book about demons and devils, and the story of the dwarf.
The dwarf.
So you
started with the story of the dwarf, in which Llew learned of the dwarf and his 3 offspring,
Oki, Roka, and Doka.
Roki, Doki.
Oki, Roki, Doki. Yeah.
And how, over time, each of them kind of turned into the different races of the dwarfs, the hill dwarfs, and the Dugars. And as he comes back to read once again, he learns of the story of the Dugars and how the Mind Flayers had enslaved them and forced them to do all kinds of unsightly things. And how when the Dugars finally broke away, many of them chose to take to the surface and found refuge with some of the hill dwarfs. And these Dugars, in exploring the mountains of Vosma, they found there a cave where they found the awn-kee crystals. And from this power, they decided to branch out and do something that dwarfs normally don't do and give gifts and connect people. And in doing so, they established themselves as the Highgars, this new race, you could call it, of dwarf, the mixture of Dugar and hill dwarf. And over time, their information that they were able to supply over the ages has brought wealth and prosperity into their kingdom. But more than anything, they exist as this information hub, and they leverage information in a way that money isn't necessarily important to them. The book talks how in the past, secrets in the awn-kee caves, will echo around, and how when some Highgar has leverage over someone, it doesn't matter how much money, it matters that secret stays safe. But regardless of the potential dangers that sharing secrets and knowledge through the awn-kee system could have, it is still the main way that kingdoms talk to each other, able to connect people over great distances. However, the book also talks how Oki and Roki, both of them had their own hardships, and how there were many hill dwarf and that did not want to take to the Dugars, as they heard their sob story and said, we have our own, and that this is our rock and that your rock flows below the ground. And to the high dwarfs, the dwarfs in the mountains, the connection between Dugar and mountain dwarf to this day remains ever so tense. And then I think that Llew would have enough time for the meeting to choose to start one of the other 2 books.
Okay.
Or I guess potentially do a brief riffle through of both.
Well, having learned what he has from this book about how the Highgar value information, he is next going to turn to the Demons and Devils book. Specifically, he wants to try to see if he can pin down what it was that was following them in the forest, so that he has something actionable to bring to the council other than just, there was a weird bird.
Sure.
Hey, Mom, there's a weird bird out there.
Okay. Roll a history or insight, whichever one would be higher for you.
Okay, we're going to roll history. 13.
I'll give you an advantage on the history roll, seeing as you're pulling through a tome
that
is, contains
Doing research.
Right. There's a lot of research here. You're just trying to pinpoint.
Would you believe that? It's a 13 again. I even switched to a different dice.
At this point, looking through this tome of demons and devils, he is positive that he was dealing with something from one of the hells, and he suspects from color and from the tale that this would definitely be a lesser devil or demon, and the imp looks particularly suited for, with what he saw, but he also finds a lot of others that have the ability to shapeshift or potentially create some sort of mirage or do, have different abilities that would affect your perception.
Sure. Okay. Is this the day of the council, or is this the night before still?
Night before.
Okay. Because we're meeting them in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Unless anybody else has something to do, Llew would like to huddle everybody up real quick. Okay. Maybe over some dinner or something.
Sounds good.
Well, Llew is in his room after having been at the falconry shop for the day. Ben would have been with him, probably also came back to the tavern. So, here's hunting down a couple of spare ends. Let's actually jump to Raven, who just has come back to the city with Sana and has just gone from the Elder Woods of the Murdoch Forest to the ancient city of New Halir.
This place seems so oppressive now.
Yeah, at least it's a comfort knowing that home's close, right?
I suppose.
But
I'm not used to city life, I'll tell you.
I hear ya. Just try to find the little things. The flowers, the soil that people planted in, the canals. There's nature everywhere. You just have to look for it.
I suppose. I should probably be getting back to the boys, and I'm sure that you don't want to dawdle with me any longer.
Don't kid yourself. I'll be around the tavern, though, sometime tonight or tomorrow morning.
I'll be there.
And, they head their separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
Raven finds her way back to the tavern, and finds Krohl downstairs at a corner booth, spread out. Taking up about the space of what 3 people would sit in a booth,
Mm-hmm.
and has a nice big mug and just a mutton chop in the other hand.
Chilling like a villain.
Krohl, what the hell is that on your chest?
Wow, you don't recognize Ferret? Where are you been?
Around.
Yeah, fair enough. No, Ferret's gotten a little bit of an upgrade. We went in the sewers. Met the game master,
A what?
Long story. Anyway, how about you? You find anything interesting? It's kind of dull around here. Waiting for the council meeting and all that.
I guess I could show you this. And
gives him the bird.
she manifests the salamander.
Well, ain't that a happening thing?
And it's big. It's a big boy sitting on the table.
And on fire.
Fire!
Now the table.
Hey, those salamanders in the tavern! Get that out of here! Someone put that fire out!
We're gonna burn the whole place down!
Friggin' maid comes over with a bucket of water.
Salamander goes away, and she uses control fire to
Douse.
Sorry about the mess.
Oh, very cool.
just fucking uses mending on the table.
You should show Llew and Ben that. Have you seen them around?
I think they said something about going to a falconry shop or something like that.
Yeah, well, that was days ago. I was hoping they'd be in here. They might be in this Lew's room. I haven't checked yet.
You haven't checked yet.
Nah, gotta
And just like that,
eat and drink.
You don't have to eat or drink.
hello everybody.
Oh, hey there, Llew. We were just talking about you. See who's back.
Oh, hello Raven.
Hey, Llew.
Anything interesting today?
Past couple of days, I've been out in the woods, and I know how to summon well, I'll show you later. I almost got kicked out of here a second ago.
Hey, we're going sourpuss anyway. We were at the falconry shop training. I believe he went back to his room. I thought he was coming down for supper.
You thought who was coming down for supper, my liege?
Oh, hello, Ben.
Are you expecting somebody?
Only you.
Well, as I told you while we were walking over, I was going to visit Winifred for a minute.
Oh, yes.
Ben! Hey, come here, we're playing cards. Come sit down.
All right, I'm...
Ben, if you could hold a moment before your games, I won't keep you long.
I'm merely going to observe, my liege. Do not worry.
Oh, no,
Oh, shit. Sorry.
What you do with your own money is your concern, not mine. No, I have something I need to tell everyone.
Well, just know that we love you and support you.
No. I have discovered something interesting. And Llew leans in so as not to be overheard by anyone around us.
Rackle.
Rackle spackle.
Listen, I have been doing some research, and these Highgar that we are meeting with tomorrow, they are not so much concerned with money as they are with information. So, when we go before them, be very careful with your words. Do not reveal more than you mean to unintentionally. Anything that you tell them is information that they have to leverage, and less that we have.
This whole time that since he said they do not value, Ben's just hard staring at Krohl.
What are you looking at me for?
Oh, nothing. I'm just listening to the prince.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Murder!
There is one other thing. I had a brief moment to do a bit of research about that bird that was following us early in our travels. I believe that it was from the Hells, perhaps an imp or something of that nature.
That makes sense.
Which would mean that we were followed much sooner than we expected by the Dark Forces.
Do you think that it could have started following us when that rift opened up?
It's entirely possible. Tiamat's got spies everywhere.
Perhaps, but we must be even more on our guard. These hell creatures are able to shapeshift into all manner of creatures. Who knows what it could take the form of next.
Krohl's glaringly staring at Ben right now.
Ben's gaze has, since he said could look like anything, has shifted to Rackle over the card table.
Anyways, we meet with the council bright and early tomorrow. I just wanted to warn everybody to be on your guard.
Oh, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Sure thing.
Very well. Enjoy yourselves, get a nice night of rest, and we will reconvene in the morning. Ben, you may go gamble now.
Gamble? Whatever do you mean, my liege?
It's where you put money down on the table.
Gambling is a vice, my prince. I'm only going to observe.
Very well, Ben, very well.
Then walks over and leans down, put me down for 20.
That on the table's only 5 right now.
Put me down for 5.
Put me down for 20. I don't even give a
down for 20.
Listen, somebody's got to up the ante.
He's running a big
What are we
split
playing?
right now.
Shoots and ladders, I think.
4s and 5s? Kings and queens?
Can we,
Front
can we all get together sometime and just bet big money on shoots and ladders?
Ladders! Ah, shoot!
Big money, big money, big money. Damn it!
Hundreds of dollars on shoots and ladders. I wasted hundreds of dollars on the shoots and ladders racket.
You know, the sad part is that would not surprise me in the slightest.
I'll never financially recover from this.
Yeah.
My whole life savings.
I needed a shoot, not a ladder!
Hey, honey, what'd you bet all this money on? Shoots and ladders?
I mean, people bet on chicken shit, so...
Chicken! Chicken shit!
Right. So the evening passes without incident.
Well, except for that one incident.
Ben losing a lot of money, that's an incident.
No, that didn't happen.
Well, you're gonna have to roll a.
Why are you making it go with a...
You're gonna have to roll I think I told you guys we'll use that whole game like Bronson did. Wisdom and charisma.
I don't remember. I've barely gambled.
Add them together. Divide by 2.
I hear the train coming.
Yes, okay, that's easy.
Is it the same?
And I ain't seen the sunshine since.
I don't know when.
And then I'm rolling. 15.
How many games did you play?
We'll say 3.
Yeah, walked away with 15 extra coins.
He's got to let you win every once in a while, or else you're not going to keep winning.
I don't think I've lost a game.
No?
No.
Not yet.
Oh.
Why do you think it started at 1683 at level 4, and I'm now at 1787.
I only have 30 coins less than you.
Right, so everybody who needs to sleep retires, and in the morning, the sun rises, and you all awake and get yourself ready.
Okay.
Ah, what a nice, bright and early morning.
About 9:30, a representative dressed in the guard of the city comes and is waiting outside of the tavern.
I suppose that's for us.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good day to you.
I am Prince Llew Westaryn. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you are here to escort us?
Of course.
Very well. I believe my party is ready to depart. Lead away.
Very good. And off you go.
We can't let that thing into the council chamber. He's half dead.
What is half?
I'm a key witness. You can't exactly have a good meeting without your key witness here.
Put him in a job.
We've got a weekend at Bernie's witness.
I'm doing fine.
I saw the demon.
I saw the demon. He was right there.
Right now.
He made passionate love to me.
Whoa. I think you're
Krohl
using a character from the wrong campaign.
Yeah.
That's more of a writer thing.
Krohl takes a little bit of time to wash his scales, look a little more presentable than usual. Try to get a little bit of the grime away.
Some of them fall off as you see.
he's going like this, and there's just like nasty shit coming off of him. Robert, you need to get off me for a minute.
I didn't need that visual.
Scrub here, scrub there.
Alright, let's just yeet out of this as quickly as possible.
Whether you're tin or brass.
Oh my god.
As you guys approach the council building, the same place you had gone to speak with your father previously, out front, Rackle is waiting. Glad you could make it.
How do you do, Rackle? Top of the morning to you.
How's it going there, Sonny?
Just dandy. Now, who's ready to be all presentable?
I mean, aren't I already?
Oh, of course, you're from nature. No one could ever say you're not presentable.
You're a charmer, aren't you? Ooh.
No. It's the manners of the rest of you. Like I told you on our travels here, there's, how do you put it? Especially among the council here in New Valir. But just don't look at all those people with masks on. Just pay attention to the people who aren't here.
Pay attention to the people that aren't here.
What do you mean for that?
Krohl, the crystals.
The what?
Oh, yes.
To be quite frank, now I'm more interested in watching the people I'm not supposed to be watching.
You guys are led into the chambers. Same entryway as before, very tall grand hall, whereas Llew had previously been led down one of the hallways. There's actually a large door at the back of the room, and you head straight and enter through that door into a room that is almost like a planetarium. It's this domed room, and there are multiple crystals lining the outside of the room, and there are these pillars along the inside, kind of creating a semicircle. And on top of all those pillars is a larger crystal that then you can see. You're not sure where the light comes into the room exactly, but you can see as there are these beams of light that are refracting off of one crystal and going into the one next to it, going up into the dome, bouncing around, and basically all of the crystals that are on these pedestals, there is a beam that connects each one of them, and on the outside next to the crystal, there's almost this haze of light. Shortly after you guys enter the room, you notice that at the back of the room, behind the semicircle, there's a raised chamber, almost like a judge's box, and in it sits 7 individuals, each wearing a white robe and has a stone mask on with 2 eye holes. And they are just sitting there.
This isn't eerie at all, is it?
Like I said, don't look at those people.
Okay.
And Kroll's looking up at all the crystals, especially the large ones.
Shiny.
Pleasant on the eyes.
Intriguing.
After a few moments of waiting, suddenly, beside one of the crystals, the hazy light starts to take form, and you notice Ajax Highrock.
Is this, like, close to us?
Yeah, so, I mean, like, you guys have entered in, like, so, like, that semicircle. You're
Right.
kind of in front of that semicircle. If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. So, pretty close to you.
Okay. Good morning, Uncle Ajax.
Oh, Llew! It's so good to see you again.
And you as well.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Who is that? Not. Yeah.
Raven, this is my uncle, Ajax.
And who is this friend of yours?
Ajax, this is Raven. She is a guardian of the forest.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, we hope to have you back in our region soon.
Likewise, I'd like to be home, but I'll have to talk to you about something.
Of course, my child. I hear that you have a report to give to us all.
Yes.
Yes, indeed we do.
Just a few minutes after you see Ajax come in, there are a number of other individuals that start to appear. This time, the pedestal next to where Ajax was, you see your father appear, and there's, like I said, almost after he appeared, and then everyone kind of pretty quickly comes into the call.
It's a Discord chat.
It's a medieval Zoom call.
Ah, my son, it's great to see you.
Father, wonderful to speak with you again.
Oh, Robert! Ajax, very good to see you. It's been a while. Yes, why haven't you come and visited me? Well, I've been busy with running a kingdom, import, export. Anyways, Llew, you have everyone here, yes?
Yes, are we ready to begin?
Great, you will be in the second half of the discussion. Just keep your ears open and absorb as much information as you can.
Very well, we shall stand by.
After this, as you've noticed, after this little conversation you've had, all of these crystals now have one or multiple individuals standing next to them. The first 2 you have already met, your father, Llew Westaryn, and Uncle Ajax Highrock. There is a Goliath male a half Goliath next to your uncle that you have never met before. There is a gnome next to him. 3 elves that Rackle leans over and indicates to you that those are the council of Karvama that he had mentioned to you before. Elyenza, Tonye, and Zurich. there is a mountain dwarf, and that is the room. So the conversation proceeds as such. The members at the back of the room with those masks on all stand up and speak as if they were one person. One person says a few words, and then the next, bouncing between each other, welcoming all of the representatives from their respective lands and regions to the meeting of the awn-kee crystals. As they do, they indicate to the floor, and from the door behind you, a Highgar walks in with a very stone-cold face, monocle in one eye, and just this fierce look in the other. And he carries with him this satchel, and he walks to the back of the room, and from this bag around his side, he pulls another of these crystals and places it right in front of this chamber where those 7 individuals were. And a light springs on, and suddenly it's like you are standing in a room with all these people. You can hear every sound that is, we're next to them, kind of in their relative space. And with that, the different officials start speaking.
Wow.
The first to speak is the Council of Karvama. They explain that the people of Lokima are currently out of reach, and that they have had no word from them and any messages they've sent. There is discussion on the floor of this being concerning and something that needs answers. However, quickly the discussion turns to Robert and Ajax, who explain first that they have sent out some individuals into the wilderness and have been exploring. And Ajax specifically talks about this blight that has come on their land, and also of weird reports of dragonoids in the mountains to the north of Murdoch. Then speaks the gnome, Tilo, who resides in the south of Copenhagen in the mountains, and he explains the current situation with the lizard folk there, that many of their patrols have seemed to pull out, and that their spies on the shorelines have seen them getting on boats and moving to the west. It's not as though they're full out abandoning their camps in Copenhagen, but it would appear as though there's movement happening. You've noticed, as all of these individuals are speaking, that this dwarf sits there with a stern face and keeps his mouth shut, and finally, after giving this whole speech about the lizard folk, Tilo turns to this dwarf and says, "Well, doggy, what do you say?" So, lower business. Lower business? If this trouble be happening to us, it'll come to you eventually. Well, we have nothing to report. How about that? Very well. But if you did, it would be a benefit to everyone. We are all in this together, aren't we? Sure, all in this together.
Press X for doubt.
Yeah, well, we know that's
A crock of shit? Yeah.
not true.
Then, as these proceedings end, King Robert says, "Now, to hear from our individuals who have had these encounters, my son and 2 of his party, why don't, Krohl, why don't you tell us of what you know of Vermore?"
Well, grew up there. Born and raised. I spent a great deal of my time...
Born, raised, and died. And raised again.
Minor details. I served in the Temple of Bahamut, actually, until my untimely death, as it were, at the hands of traitors to our own cause, people who turned to Tiamat.
You say that the people are the Bahamut followers, that they potentially have been corrupted?
I wouldn't say all of them, but definitely some of them were corrupted indeed, perhaps by Tiamat herself. And it's they who killed me. Bahamut, however, saw fit to bring me back in order to spread the word that Tiamat has a foothold in our lands. Perhaps Tiamat herself is the one causing us to lose communication with the people from Lokima. They are, next door neighbors to Vermor. I shudder to think of what my brethren in the Temple of Bahamut are dealing with.
Ah, well there you have it, friends. There clearly is an issue happening in Vermor.
Yes, well, we can't just go and march every troop we have into Vermor and die in Dragonfire.
This is true. But still, there it is. Proof that Tiamat has taken hold. That the balance of the dragon gods, it has been tipped to one side. Raven, was it?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us of your experience with the Blights? I know your people have dealt with them for some time.
Well, they seem to be portals into some kind of portal into the Nine Hells. Things pour out of there that I can hardly describe. And, it seems that some of my people are starting to disappear.
Interesting. I have not heard of this.
In fact, I'm looking for my family as we speak. My clan is completely gone.
This is very grave news indeed. For those who are unaware, in this council, the Furbolg have watched over the ancient forests of Murdoch for thousands and thousands of years. Their presence is just another indicator that an evil is moving in. It's not just in the west. Llew, tell us, what have you encountered on your travels other than these blights?
On my travels, we have seen many things that lead me to believe that the evil will not remain contained in the east, should we do nothing. Strange creatures walk. It was not quite a fortnight ago that we slayed a vampire that attempted to attack us in the night. We have seen a strange bird following us, one that I believe may be an imp or some other demon. Who knows what form he took after he left our sight. We have even seen a resurgence of goblins, unlike has been seen in many a years. To this council I would say, I believe that we must act now, or else we risk losing the opportunity to act at all.
You think a couple of goblins are an issue, boy?
It is true that I know quite well your people have fought back the goblins for many centuries.
Millennia.
However, I cannot remember. In fact, I do not believe within my lifetime there has been a surge of goblins so close to the surface as there was yet a few days ago when we helped to fight them back.
Helped?
Yes, indeed. We came upon a farm that had been ravaged by a goblin raiding party. The farmer, the only survivor, his entire family killed and buildings burned. We helped to fight these goblins back, but it is troubling to me that they would stray so close to the surface.
Goblins will do anything for food, supplies. Without leadership, they're just a pain, a thorn in your side.
But they had leadership.
What's this?
A hobgoblin with a strange mark on his face.
Well, a single hobgoblin is not anything to consider as rank.
If I may be so bold, I know that I do not have the years of experience of many in this council. However, I have studied the tactics of war for many years in preparation for my leadership. It seems to me that these goblins displayed an uncharacteristic amount of coordination. It was not a random horde. They acted almost as military units, as much as goblins can. No, I believe there might be some sort of larger structure being developed beneath the ground.
Son, perhaps you could tell us the region. We could send troops out.
Yes, it was, the attack itself, the farm that we came upon, was near the town of Harmony. I know not exactly where the stronghold itself that we attacked was. I will fully admit that I do not possess the ability to navigate underground as our dwarven friends do, and my orientation was a bit off, but it was less than a few hours' walk through the tunnels to the stronghold from that farm. I believe that, for now, we can in fact trust our dwarven friend that they are handling the issue. I have no doubt I've seen their fighting capabilities firsthand. They are doing an admirable job of fighting this back.
Dwarven friends?
Brothers in arms, at least. Perhaps not friends, but we did fight alongside a company of your men.
My men haven't been that far south in over 300 years.
Well, somebody was there.
You're fighting with the Dugars.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he a Dugar?
Highguard.
This guy's a mountain.
You know.
He's a mountain dwarf.
Oh, it's not the Highgar talking, it's the...
Right. The Highgar walked in, literally put the stone down, and hasn't said a word.
Okay. That actually clears up a little bit for me.
No.
I thought it was the Highguard that he'd been.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself,
This is Doki.
Yeah, no, I know it's Doki, but isn't Doki the Dugar?
Oh, dude, I said the
Dwarf?
wrong name.
yeah.
That was what I was going off of, because I got Doki's Dugars.
Doki is...
Roki is the hill
Dugar.
dwarves, and Oki is the mountain dwarves.
Durit is his name, actually.
Oh, okay. Alright, we'll rewind just a little bit then.
Well, you put RJ for the first time, alright? Durit Keet.
Durit Keet.
Durit Keet.
So in essence, anytime he's been saying, what was it, Doki?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you meant.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna rewind back just a little bit there, because I was approaching this thinking that this was Doki, so... that I was speaking to, so...
I don't think Doki's allowed in here.
Why not?
Dugars don't really like the Highgars. The Highgars and the Mountain Dwarfs are okay with each other. The Mountain Dwarfs and the Dugars don't really like each other.
So Dugars are just the black sheep, right?
Basically, the Dugars more or less just don't like other dwarfs because they feel like they've been pressed and gotten the literal short stick.
Yeah, they got shafted.
Okay. Alright, well, like I said, I'm going to rewind just a minute, because I thought I was talking to a totally different person, so that totally changes the way that I would tell that story. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Harrison.
Hey everybody, RJ here. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Realms and Nerds.
If you're not already, please subscribe to the show and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes.
It's available on pretty much every platform out there, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
Once you're subscribed, consider sharing the show with a friend. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow.
Thank you so much to our friend Kyle for composing the melody of our main theme. And of course,
as always, thank you for listening. We appreciate all of you, and we're so grateful to have your support. Now, back to the action. The farm that we came across was just outside of the town of Harmony. We fought back the initial goblin attack and then came across a company of Dugar that we assisted in assaulting the goblin stronghold, slaying their number. I do not know exactly what direction the stronghold was from the farm. I will admit that I am not as adept at navigating underground as dwarves are, but it was yet about a few hours' walk from where the farm was. I believe that for now they are doing a good job at holding the goblins back. However, the way that they organized and the numbers with which they attempted to push out makes me think that it was not just a random raiding party, but a symptom of a larger illness that is growing. As I said before, it appears to me throughout my travels that the darkness from the blights and the creatures and the goblins is spreading at a fast pace, and if we don't do something about it, it could be too late.
And what would you have us do? My cousins of the depths, they won't lend a hand. They won't ask for help. If the trouble comes from beneath our feet, there's nothing we can do.
I am aware that your relationship with them is strained. I know Dugar can be quite stubborn from my own interactions with them. Perhaps if they won't ask for help, you should offer it. What better way to show that you are superior, you are the greater dwarves, than to offer to help them?
Just for them to throw it back in my face. They would refuse our help. And then, should they survive, they would come back to us as some triumphant victor, ready to take back their keep.
Perhaps you could send someone else to assess the situation.
I'm listening, boy.
If we were given permission, perhaps we could go and see if we can find out more, see if perhaps the threat is as grave as I fear. If we know exactly how dire the situation the Dugars are in is, then that would give more information, more leverage to negotiate with.
Well, I personally have no problem sending my representatives back to the east to investigate this further.
We are more than willing to take on this challenge. Our initial destination was Vermore to see what was brewing there, but it now seems that if the evil has moved this far to the west, it might be better to assess this situation before we move on that way.
But if they're conjoining forces in the west, in the east, then it'll just be a matter of time before we have a tidal wave crashing down on us.
Perhaps.
If I may, your kingliness, wouldn't you rather have an enemy that you can see that's coming at you rather than an enemy that comes from below that you can't see?
You have a point, though I fear our enemies are still quite unknown to us. Their true number, intention.
Krohl, you know more of the region of Vermore. Perhaps you could lend your insight. How long do you think it would take for any kind of an army to mobilize there? What sort of capabilities are already in place?
Do I need to do a history check or something? Because out of character, I don't actually know that.
Sure. Let's do a history.
Okay, back to
I
stuff.
don't know. I spent most of my time in the bathtub.
How did you know? I rolled a 17.
I smell really bad, so I have to take a lot of showers. See?
Even before I was
Damn it, you beat me to I was about to say that.
What Krohl knows is that the area of Vahama is pretty flat, and there is, most of those people are living off of some sort of agriculture that they are cultivating. Lokima is a desert, Pak is a desert, and Nepodima is the beginning of a jungle, and the whole eastern coast there is jungle. So, the best route for mobilizing forces from the west going to the east would probably be through the land north of Lokima or south through Rome, following the mountain range down and then in.
Well, the good news is, if there's any immobilization whatsoever, Lokima stands between us and Vermor. So if Vermor is where it started, they have to go around. They can either go south through Rome, following the mountains, or through Vahama, which is mostly a lot of farmland. So, as to the armies of those regions, I can't say much. I know that even further south in Pak and Nepodima, it's a lot of desert and jungle, so...
I can speak on the people of Vahama.
Speaks out Elyenza the White.
The people of Vahama are ever divided. The city of Lala, which was once the pride of men in the area, has degraded to perhaps what is only my elf size, but that of a slum. They care not for building or doing anything other than what is necessary to survive. Any military that they do have is the rangers and the outlaws that patrol the lands.
Well, such a divided nation might be... Look at it two ways. Either it'll be really easy to sway people who are leaderless, or it'll be hard to bring them all together.
The men of the region have lost their spark.
They make a pill for that. So, another question is then, I know that is that pronounced Oka? That red region next to Hilir?
Oki.
Oki? Oh, I apologize. We know that
You
Oki
can
has...
say it Oka too.
It looks like Ace to me, so...
It is Ace.
Okay, so...
But-
actually, Krohl probably would pronounce it as Oka.
Exactly.
So, that region of Oka, there's a huge mountain range there that kind of splits the continent in half, north and south. So, the question becomes, are they going to head north towards Sana, or are they going to come south towards Hilir?
Well, regardless of which way they go, it seems to me that from your recollection of things and from the update of Vama, they have a long way to go. Either way, it is not a straight path. I believe that we have some time to assess the situation here and perhaps get our footing before we have to deal with threats from the east.
On a side note, if we've lost communication with Lokima, which is a fair distance from the Temple of Bahamut I come from, it's possible they're moving just a hair faster than we were on our travels. Since it only took us a couple weeks to get here from Lew's home, it's safe to say if they're in Lokima, it only took them a few weeks to travel that far as well. That doesn't give us much time if they're heading this way.
Well, your counsel and information has been valuable to us all. We now will close the chamber, and we will reconvene in an hour.
You see as people nod. The first person to leave is Durit, and then a couple other people drop out after them. And finally, King Robert, Ajax, and this half Goliath are the only people left.
Good work, son. Good presentation.
Your Kingliness, have you heard anything of the Burning Tree clan? It's the clan that I come from. I lost touch with them quite a while ago, and I'm worried about my family.
Of course. I'm afraid, my dear, that I, until today, was unaware of that disappearance. It has not yet made it to my ears.
Oh.
Though if I do hear anything, I will make sure to get word to you.
Thank you.
Then King Robert tells you that they're gonna reconvene, and then they're gonna kind of make a decision. And you guys head out. You've been dismissed for the day.
Wonderful. Okay. I don't know about you boys, but I felt we got kind of the cold shoulder in there.
It does appear that they're willing to do practically nothing.
What do you...
Other than Llew's father, not everyone seemed very keen on our presentation.
Are political things with you civilized folk always like this?
I wouldn't exactly call us civilized, but...
Yes, always. I tell you, that's the worst thing about all of this politics. Keeps people connected, but can't ever make a decision.
Where I come from, you vote, and then it just happens. There's no arguing back and forth, it just happens.
Sounds nice. Must be a small community.
Yes, what you are describing is the idyllic situation that we are hoping for. It just so happens that there are enough people with different motives make things rather difficult.
Yes, the real trick with these kind of negotiations is not listening to what people say, but rather what they don't say.
Well, they sure as shooting didn't offer us any help yet. We'll see in an hour, I guess, but...
What they don't say?
Indeed.
What does that mean?
Well, you have to interpret the things that they don't want to tell you. Like, for instance, if you noticed, not one representative of any of the kingdoms wanted to say anything about their troop capacity, any amount of men that they have mobilized or prepared for war.
But you're supposed to be allies. Aren't you supposed to know what's going on?
Yes, but what did I tell you last night? Information is key in this council. It is the currency on which they run. Sometimes, in that sort of a situation, people find it better to not show all of their cards.
You're all so cryptic. How do you get anything done?
It's a wonder. Sometimes you just go ahead and do it anyway and beg for forgiveness later.
That's my favorite game to play. Definitely beats this game.
I thought your favorite game was 3-Card Monty.
Well, that's just a trick, really.
Fair enough. Anyways, I am famished after all of that. I could use a meal and a few drinks.
Well, we do have about an hour to kill. Why not?
I'm a little dry, too.
Alright, lunchtime. Smash cut.
Oh, that was very good.
Wonderful meal. I suppose we'd better be heading back to the council now.
I suppose.
Well, I suppose we should get batted back, then. What do you boys think? And lady, what do you think they're gonna decide?
I don't rightfully know.
We think we're gonna head west? North? East? South?
Down?
South by southwest.
Everything really hinges on how cooperative the dwarves want to be. It seems to me that the best course of action is to find out what's going on underneath our feet before we go running to the west. But if the dwarves want to block that, there's not much the rest of the council can do.
You think we should go back to the Dugars?
At least for a short time. The west still is troubling to me, but I would much rather find out if we're about to have an explosion beneath our feet, rather than start moving west and have to run back east to defend our home.
I couldn't agree more. Well, let's see what the council decides.
Ben, you've been very quiet. What do you think about this?
I think that I'm not the biggest fan of politics.
Useful as always.
I can agree with you on that one.
He does make a fair point.
Well, for now, let us go and see what the council will say.
I concur.
The party makes their way back to the council room, and as they do, the council is already in session, you could say, as you guys enter, or are let in. And as they do so, everyone kind of turns to acknowledge your presence, and then the gnome, Tilo, begins.
Well, adventurers, it would seem that as of right now, we're all going to go back to gathering more research. We're going to investigate the northern border of my continent. Go and investigate these blights, goblin attacks. But in the meantime, we think that it would be wise to send a small party further east. So we'll keep on keeping on and check out for more. Tell us all about it.
You want us to go all the way to Vermore?
Well, you don't have to go all the way, but I believe we're ready to equip you with the device to let navigating information a little bit easier.
The toys?
What sort of device are you speaking of?
Hi, I'm
They call it an automobile.
He just hands us a map. Here you go.
You made it sound so fun, and then you just hand me a map.
We call it a compass.
This is a map.
I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map.
He kind of indicates down the Highgar, moves forward, and approaches you, Llew, and from his bag on one of the outside pockets, he pulls out a smaller gem and hands it to you.
This is a direct communication from wherever this stone is back to here.
Interesting.
A far squeaker.
A far squeaker.
Oh my god. It's canon.
Alright, Llew takes it. And if I may be so bold to ask of the council, will you be sending someone to speak with the Dugars as well?
Oh, of course, it's of our highest priority.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's lying?
I was about to say, yeah.
Press X for serious doubt. Critically failed it though, so Krohl believes him.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Ben's insight is an unnatural 20.
Ben is fairly certain that it is not their highest priority to establish relations with the Dugars.
Just let them die in their bloody hole.
Pardon me if I'm stepping out of line, but do you expect us to go along with your plan when you're going to lie to us directly to our faces?
Lying to your faces?
Indeed.
I believe what my companion is saying is that we have quite a bit of insight in the surrounding areas, and we have very strong feelings that assessing the situation with the Dugars should perhaps be of higher priority. We already have done half the work anyways.
As it would stand right now, the Dugars are an independent nation who have not asked for intervention, and as such, we cannot and will not provide any.
Nobody's asking for any sort of intervention. It's more of a welfare check.
Perhaps you don't understand the tongue that you're speaking very well, but those sound a lot like the same thing to me.
Ben, forgive my companion. He is not as well versed in the proceedings of the court. We have heard your decision, and if there is no need for us further, we shall depart.
Very well. Adieu to you all.
Krohl turns and leaves. Slightly steaming.
Just because I am following your decision does not mean that I respect it or you. Good day.
Damn. I don't serve you, I serve him.
Alright.
You get some gnome glare.
Once we're...
Flicks him off. Shut the fuck up, you little bitch.
Once we're outside...
Before you get outside, actually...
Before you get outside, an assassin kills
excuse
man.
you, shit's about to go down.
This is for talking bad about the gnomes.
I just would like Llew to roll insight. Yeah.
Sheesh, what are these rolls today?
Bad?
Typical.
That's a 5.
Okay. You guys go outside.
You're letting us down, Die. You're letting us down.
Ben, what the hell was that?
Speaking my mind. Is that not what...
No, that is not what you do. What did I tell... I said to speak carefully in there.
I told you all to speak carefully.
Well, that's why I didn't tell him necessarily all the truth.
Carefully.
You kept your mouth shut for open mic.
If I had anything more to give there, I would have. Please, if I were to be speaking my mind, it would have been a bit more coarse.
Listen, it's about the way you say it. Not what you mean.
I think it was well put. They knew my intentions.
But that's the exact problem. I told them that I understood their decision. I didn't say I was following it.
I follow you, my liege.
I mean, if you think about it, I kind of lied to them too. I didn't tell them the whole truth.
Perhaps, Raven,
Yes.
is there any forest area where we could go and speak privately nearby?
In fact, there might be.
My secret wood clubhouse.
She's gonna go back to the tavern and see if she can find a disguised sauna.
Roll a perception check.
A nat 20.
Damn.
She's positive that Sana is not in this room or in this tavern.
On second thought, no, there isn't a forest around here that we can get to. No.
However, there is plenty of other places. I mean, it's a whole city.
I was gonna say, Krohl's,
You can find
You know,
you can find
into
a back
the
alley
sewer.
somewhere.
I know of a place where we can talk privately. Follow me. Krohl starts down the street.
Into the sewer!
He goes down some back alleys or whatever, looking for that sewer drain he went in the other day. Follow me, boys and madame. He lifts the manhole off and he jumps in.
Does anybody else find this a little dubious?
Krohl, are you leading us into a sewer?
Are we really going to follow that man into a sewer?
We followed him into worse situations.
You did ask for a private place to talk, right?
Get your ass down here.
Private place, preferably where I will not have to bathe every 2 hours for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, just get in, Ben. And, have we been followed, Ben?
Yeah, Mark, I'm just looking to see real quick if I have any... Okay. Nothing to help me there. 8!
Sorry, what?
You heard me!
Oh my god.
Okay.
Just because I got a -1 doesn't mean a thing.
Well, you have a -1?
Yes, he's not smart.
You said
He's an
insight?
idiot.
No, investigation.
Investigation? That's an
should've-
unnatural
I
20
should have
for
just done it myself.
Right, too. I don't know why you're depending on him for anything.
Well, because he's the ranger. I thought he could, look around and...
That's perception.
He's
not
too busy.
investigation.
He's too busy being
Ranger.
stank out by the stewards.
Also Ranger!
Much better range.
Better ranger.
Yeah. I'll ask
What
for
level ranger are you?
3.
Yeah, he had to look it up. He's multi-class 5, bitch!
3.
Oh, 5, bitch! I'm the better ranger!
And yet he's the one that rolled well.
I mean, I would probably say that
Can you talk to the
investigation is a
Mammals?
skill that rangers...
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, it's based off intelligence, which I didn't really
So,
need as a ranger. Kind of got my dunk score.
Ben does not believe that they've been followed, and Raven is positive that they haven't been followed.
Positive that we haven't?
Haven't.
Okay. No, we haven't been followed.
As I was about to say, my liege, we have not been followed.
Very well. Everyone inside, quickly.
Must we?
Yes.
Oh, this is going to be sitting in my clothes for months.
You can get new clothes. And she
You got enough money.
And she dives down into there.
I mean, it's not like a... I mean, it's just like a drain thing. It's big. It's not like we're
It's not
swimming.
New York.
hasn't been in it
It's not the New York City
The
sewer,
way I
okay?
kind of described it
Cowabunga,
first time
dudes!
was like, whole thing's a sphere, and then there's kind of like a walkway on either
Yeah.
side, and like a drainage in the middle.
Alright. So we all in here now? Done grumbling and bitching about it?
Cowabunga.
He'll never be done bitching about it, but...
Yes, no, no.
Alright, well, we're...
To the surprise of myself, it smells worse than you down here. I did not think that was humanly possible.
Well, considering I'm not human... Anyway,
Well, you've never been
You-
human.
here you go. Is this private enough for you? There's nothing down here. I speak from experience. Me and old Ferbert here did a little exploring.
Yes. We have a decision to make. We can follow the guidance of the council and go east towards Vermore, and we'll most likely receive more or less their full support in doing so. Or we can go back to the east and attempt to investigate the situation with the Dugars and the goblins. But if we do so and put ourselves on the wrong side of the council, there may be consequences later.
What did you say?
Asking for forgiveness?
Yes.
This is not a decision that I choose to make alone, since that it could affect all of you quite greatly. So we need to be in agreement. Has everyone agreed that we shall go back and investigate the Dugar situation?
Well, I have no problem going against the Council of Carvama. The only reason I met you guys in the first place is because I was, well, where I wasn't supposed to be. At that point in time, at least.
Well, Prince, you know that my first and foremost task is your protection, so I shall follow you, whatever your decision. As stupid as it may be. Which in this case, I do not disagree with.
Well, I have a vested interest in revenging myself upon the followers of Tiamat that betrayed me. However, we need to know the full extent of where they've reached if we're going to have any advantage over them. So, you can't say I'm necessarily against seeing how the goblins are being influenced.
Besides, we can always go to Vermore afterward.
And if Tiamat has a hand already over here, there's no point in trying to meet Tiamat's forces in the east if they've already reached the west. I'd say we go find some Dugars.
Raven?
I'm pretty much ride or die now.
Yeah. So there's literally two of us that are basically deciding where we're going.
It seems that you have our full support, my liege.
Very well. We shall prepare and slip out of the city tonight. I think we need to pack and travel light. We will go quickly and investigate this. If there's nothing there, we'll be on our way to Vermore, and if there's a greater evil to deal with, well, we will handle that when we come to it.